All right. Hello.
So,
good
over to
afternoon.
you.
Okay. Let me just put it this way: that good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and because Norman has his fan base everywhere, like around the globe. So, everyone, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, everything to all of you. Let's start the show by saying, where are you, Norman? Exactly. I mean, I'm so glad, I'm so excited to see that the Sydney cricket ground is just behind you. What are you doing there? Tell me. Come on, your viewers wants to know.
Hello, Anisha Tucker. I'm here at the Sydney Cricket Ground. Yes, the SCG, and there is no cricket. Absolutely no cricket. No cricket. But there are 35,000 plus people here. 35,000. Okay, the
My
place is full,
goodness.
and they're going to be leaving soon. It's a rugby league match between the Eastern Suburbs Roosters and the St George Dragons, and we are here. But it's an incredible place. Look at this place. Magnificent ground. The hallowed turf of the Sydney Cricket Ground. But I'm afraid we in Australia are very lucky in Sydney. 35,000 people plus. And I'll go around a bit more. We'll go a bit closer. And you can see, I'll just show you around. I'll get a bit of a view here. You can see the ground
Norman.
here.
Norman, is
Yes.
there any way that we can switch places right now? Like you come to my place and I go there? Can you ask your crystal
We can do
ball
that.
to
We
do
can
this
do that.
right
Why
now?
not? Why not? Why not? Why not? I might grab a couple of fans here. Hang on.
And
Guys,
you need
do you want to
to
go
show
live
your
on
viewers
television
the
to
cap
India? Do you
which
want
you're
to?
wearing.
Okay, cool. All right. Okay, so I just asked some people about their thoughts, but you'll see people leaving the ground now, as you can see steadily. The Eastern Suburbs Roosters versus St George Dragons. I think the Roosters are actually leading. It's quite a match. What's the score?
It's 22-6.
Okay, so it looks like the Roosters are going to win the match. But anyway, it's just amazing. This is the Sydney Cricket Ground, and it's absolutely full. Full of people. As you can see, nobody's wearing masks. Absolutely no one's wearing masks. It's quite incredible. So I'm going to grab people, we'll have a chat to them, and we'll ask them about the first match, which is, of course, between what two teams, Denise? What two teams?
I forgot the names, but there's a military.
No, I'm talking about the IPL.
Oh, today's match. Oh, all right. So, okay. So, when we talk about today's match, ladies and gentlemen, the menu for today is we have a double header. We have two matches lined up. The first one is Chennai Super Kings versus Royal Challenges Bangalore. And let me tell you that these two sides are on the top of the table. And the next match is Sunrisers Hyderabad versus Delhi Capitals, which is during the evening time, 7:30, according to the Indian Standard Time. So
Correct.
that's the menu on the table. It's a Sunday. People are at home. And what are they going to do? They have two matches lined up, two games lined up. They can sit at home and enjoy these two matches. You know, Norman, did you watch the last match?
Of course.
Yesterday's match. I mean, I am just wondering that where is the craze of IPL? All the matches are low-scoring matches, like mostly are low-scoring matches. That craze is not there. Where is the craze when the team which bats first, who goes and gives ends up with a score of 170, 180, and then the one who comes to bowl, the second one who is batting, who plays really well and gives a good target, a power pack match. Where is that craze? That's what I'm looking for.
I agree. That was a bit of a disappointing match. In fact, the last couple of matches have been very disappointing. The reality is it's a long tournament. Some 60 matches in total. Yeah. We're up to, that was 17 and 18. We're looking at 19 and 20 today. I'm expecting a better set of games today, and the two games will be better. The previous two were certainly down on form. I mean, really, Kolkata Knight Riders and Rajasthan Royals, even though Rajasthan Royals won, it was a very disappointing game. I think we're looking at two sides which will occupy the bottom four of the table. So I'm afraid that's the case.
So, Norman, I think before we start talking about today's match, how about we talk about yesterday's match a bit? You know, because it was quite disappointing, but there are good points from yesterday's match also, like Sanju Samson. He was performing under pressure, but yesterday he performed quite well, right?
Well, yes, Sanju Samson certainly looked steady as he needed to be. He batted particularly solidly under the conditions, and quite frankly, showed that he's able to handle the captaincy under rather difficult circumstances. Hats off to him. Absolutely.
Then, if we talk about Shivam Mavi, all this while he was not playing, they did not select him. But yesterday, KKR selected him, and he was quite good with the ball yesterday. What do you think? Because the death overs which he was bowling. Oh, in fact, one over he played so well. He called for 2 calls for out, and then he just gave 2 runs. That was amazing, I believe. Shivam Mavi
Absolutely.
looks very promising.
I totally agree. Very, gee, Anisha, you're on the ball. Your astute understanding of the game is only going to another level. I'm very impressed. I concur wholeheartedly. Okay.
Yeah.
So
I think your viewers are waiting for us so that we can talk about today's match. So let's start talking about today's match. So to your viewers, yesterday it was a match between 2 sides who were at the bottom of the table, but today it is between top 2 sides of the table. So it's going to be very, very interesting. Chennai Super Kings versus Royal Challengers Bangalore. This year, this team is proving that what are their capabilities. Royal Challengers Bangalore proves to be very, very promising.
I think we've got one of our we've got some army people about to arrive. Hang on, guys, what's going on here?
Yeah. Come on, show me.
The army are here.
You know what, Norman? The best part
We're being
of your
invaded.
show, the best part of your show is you just don't cover cricket. You cover every kind of sport. That's lovely.
We're going live. We're going live to India, mate. I'm actually going live to India, by the way. So no. Okay. All right. I've got some crowd people. So the reality is, the Chennai Super Kings are playing, of course, today. Who is their leader? MS Dhoni. RCB has the leader of Virat Kohli. Okay, so Dhoni versus Kohli. We'll get some of the people here and their impressions of exactly those 2 teams, and in particular, the challenge between heir apparent Virat Kohli and the true IPL champion, as in Dhoni. Okay, that's one of the things we really need to talk about. That's a significant interest of all people in this match, is that those 2 players. Would you agree?
I definitely agree.
100%.
I do. 100%. 100%.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. Till the time you get some fans to talk about today's
I'll get
match,
some fans. We'll talk about it, okay? All right.
Yeah. So,
guys, if you can be good, I'll let you on. Otherwise, I won't, okay? So you know about cricket? Yeah. Come. I'm going to bring some guests here. Hang on. We're just going to bring Monty Panesar, by the way.
No, Monty Panesar.
Okay.
Monty!
No, so just come. Hello, Monty.
Hello, mate. How's it going?
Good. I'm at the SCG here. Get the kid out. That was not smart. Okay.
I want to get here. I want to talk to cricket.
Okay. All right. So we're at the Sydney Cricket Ground, Monty, at the moment. And, of course, Anisha is here. And we're actually meeting up with fans about the match today. And Anisha, you take over. CSK versus RCB. Ask Monty about that match while I get some fans. Did you hear that?
Hi, Anisha.
hi, Monty. I'm sure you're doing pretty good.
Yes, very well, thank you.
I was waiting for the smile on your face. Then only I can figure it out that you are doing pretty good. All right.
Good.
Okay, so
good.
According to you, we were just talking about yesterday's match, that it was not the way one should play a match. I mean, it was quite disappointing. When it comes to IPL, there's a different kind of craze to all our viewers. Like, we watch a match to have that.
Are you
that
cricket
power
fans
pack
at all?
game, like scoring
No,
160
because
to
I'm live to
170,
India.
and then the one who bats second, they come and give a power
two
pack.
players, MS Dhoni and
They
Virat
perform
Kohli.
power
Would
pack,
you like to come on?
score really good or give a
This
good
is long.
target.
No, you've got Monty
This
Panesar.
is not happening this IPL. I mean, what's wrong with this IPL? Do you expect some more power pack matches after this, because they're going to have a change in the venue from Monday onwards?
Yeah, there may be. Like possibly to do with just pitches. You know, a lot of cricket being played at one venue, so the pitches get tired obviously really quickly, and groundsmen don't have enough time to produce sort of flat, high-scoring pitches. So this is something that we may just expect through this year's IPL, where we may not get the high scoring games that we have been sort of very lucky and blessed and sort of just been spoilt with in the UK. Just watching 200 versus 200 is what we're used to on the IPL. It's just because pitches are going to get tired quickly. You're going to get low scoring games, and sometimes it's good. Some 2020 games are in the bowler's favor.
Yeah. Okay, so see, the what is done and dusted, we can't change that. Let's talk about today's match. Let's talk about the second match first, which is Sunrisers Hyderabad versus Delhi Capitals. Then we're gonna end the show with the fresh match so that people can watch the match immediately after we finish. So first, let's talk about Sunrisers Hyderabad versus Delhi Capitals. Aksar Patel is available for selection. So will he straight away get a chance to play, because Amit Mishra has been performing well, and so is Lalit Yadav. So I want to ask you, Monty, that will he straight away get a chance, Aksar Patel?
I think he's been such great form. The whole pressure is going to be on should be playing Aksar Patel as soon as we can, because he's been performing so well in the test matches, even in some of the the international games for India, that there is this sort of hype around Aksar Patel now, and people want to watch him. But then Amit Mishra, again, you can see like the experienced spinner that he is. In the last game, he was able to flight the ball, give it air, and the great example that he's in a good headspace at the moment as a spin bowler is when he gave the first ball, tossed it up in the air on a slow sort of turning pitch against Hardik Pandya, and he took the bait. He took on the bait and he got him out. So it's that balance, isn't it? As a coach, you're thinking, I've got Amit Mishra who's in really good spirits at the moment, and then Aksar Patel who's coming back, and there's a bit of a hype around him. So that's something that they can sort of discuss, and even if they have to wait a couple of games because they want to play Amit Mishra as a frontline spinner, that can always be the possibility, because they're in such good form at the moment. So as long as the team is winning, that's, I think, is a healthier position to be in for a coach and a captain.
Right. Also, if you see, Mujib played one game and he was very decent with his outing. Still, he was dropped. I really want to know what's the reason. You have any idea, Monty?
Well, sometimes it's when teams are just they're not sure about their 11. They don't know. In the IPL, it can very much you can very much get into your own performances because of the pressure of the game, and you got to, as a team, you got to play collectively, and win games. That's what's the most important thing. And to find the 11 that they all connect together and they're able to get the team over the line is what I think makes the owners, the captain, the supporters, sort of, that's what they want to see. And I think that's the reason, they're just dropping and changing, because they just haven't found their consistent form yet.
Also, there is one very, very important question right now. That is, how will Delhi, what will be Delhi's strategy to tackle Rashid, especially on this wicket?
Well, I think with Rashid, it doesn't matter if it's a flat pitch or a spinning deck. You've just got to play Sunrisers Hyderabad with 16 overs. It's basically saying in 16 overs, we need to get to 150, 160. Whatever runs we get with Rashid is just a bonus. And if he has a bad day, we'll get to, let's say, 190. If he has a good day, we'll get to 175. So 15 runs off his 4 overs. That's how I think teams should tackle Sunrisers. And that's how they're doing it. They're thinking, well, 4 overs, whatever runs we get from him is a bonus. We don't give our wickets away, and we just go. It's a 16-over match with Sunrisers Hyderabad. That's how you got to play them, and you'll end up beating them.
Right. I mean, when you're talking about this, that it's a 16-over match, I'm actually recalling yesterday's match, the way Shubman and Nitish started. I felt they're playing a test match. I mean, they were so slow. I mean, they could have done it if Nitish and Shubman would have consistent since the beginning. I think they could have won the match yesterday.
Well, I think the trouble is with some of the young Indian players, they look up to people in the team that they inspire, get the inspiration from. Now Shubnam Gill is slightly, I think he still looks to, for inspiration. And I think that's where I believe where Kolkata Knight Riders and Owen Morgan, he has to, assess his team. How do I get my team, motivated to play at their best? And I believe, look, he needs to go up the order. He needs to show to the team, guys, I'm not hiding behind 5 or 4, because I'm not in great form. I'm going to go at 3. I'm going to go top of the order. I'm going to break up the 3 Indian domestic players because they're not firing. And I'm going to take a bit of ownership. Like Virat Kohli's done with the RCB. He's opening the batting. Rohit Sharma does it continuously, for Mumbai Kings. Sorry, Mumbai Indians. And I think it's a cultural thing that the Indian domestic players, they like to look up to players for inspiration, for that energy factor, And I think Owen Morgan needs to lead that a little bit. They want a bit more that sort of leadership from his batting, because we all know he's a brilliant captain. He's a brilliant captain, and it's just his batting's not firing, and that's what I think is probably the problem with KKR at the moment.
Yeah, so according to Monty, to all the viewers of Norman, Monty really thinks that KKR needs to change their batting order. Maybe they send Nitish at 3, or maybe they send. Who do you think that they should send with Gill on the top order?
Well, yeah, keep the 2 together, but and goes at 3. Just break that up a little bit, and see if that could help KKR.
Yeah. All right. So before Norman, say.
Okay, I've had to move away from the ground because
at times I forget that it's your show and not mine.
it's as much your show as it is mine, and you know that, and Monty as well. The reality is, you can see an amazing backdrop behind me. Monty, for your sake, we had 35,000 people at the SCG today. 35, very close to capacity, watching a rugby league match. And you can hear the noise in the background. I've tried to get people to talk about cricket. I think they've had a few too many to drink, to be very honest. They may not be much use to us today. So we might avoid that. The reality is, I do appreciate you both being here, because we've got a blockbuster of a day. We've been talking about the concerns about KKR, as I've heard, Rajasthan Royals or Punjab Kings, yes. But what a match. The matchup of MS Dhoni versus Virat Kohli. It's almost like Monty versus Sachin Tendulkar, really. It's the same height of importance. The reality as it is. To me, those 2 players, say the very least. I think it's a magnificent match, and I'm looking forward to it. Having Monty here for his expert advice, and having Anisha here to send the insightful questions is what my show is all about. I appreciate your time here. But I tell you what, the Sydney Cricket Ground was amazing today, and we're so lucky in Sydney. Imagine 35,000 people, uncontrolled, no masks, no form of protection at all. We're quite lucky. After 90 days of zero COVID, we're almost appearing like a form of normality. This is what we need to see, hopefully, in the future with India and England. Hopefully, you can return to what we're dealing with in Australia. I'm feeling very lucky.
Yeah, definitely. India definitely needs this. I mean, hats off to Sydney, and hats off to all the people. I mean, today, if you're not wearing a mask, that means that all these 90 days you have followed the protocols well, so that there's no COVID right now. So hats off to the people of Sydney.
And I must say this, it is true. If you follow the protocols, it might sound obvious. I shouldn't be so flippant, but it is obvious. The importance of social distancing, the importance of staying at home, the importance of not going about any movement unless absolutely necessary, and quarantining when you move anywhere in the country is paramount.
Yeah, definitely. That will break the chain eventually. And it is us who have to do that. Well, Norman, also when you were actually talking about Sachin Tendulkar, that Monty versus Sachin Tendulkar, it reminded me one more thing, that yesterday was Sachin's birthday and I was not on your show. So I think that all 3 of us should wish him together. So if he gets to watch this show, at least he'll feel great about it. So on the count of three, three, two,
Absolutely.
one. A very, very happy birthday to the legendary, the god of cricket, Sachin Tendulkar. And it's from all of us, from Monty, from Norman, and from all the viewers of Norman. I mean, 100 international centuries. That's like some real record. I mean, I wish we could have done one show.
Maybe
Sachin.
Anisha, you can ask questions from the questions that are coming up from the fans.
Oh yeah. Is there any question for Monty for the second match, which is Sunrisers Hyderabad versus Delhi Capitals? Could you please check that, Norman? Or should I check? There are so many questions, and there are people who wants Monty just to say hi to them. So Arun is saying that I'm from Chennai and I'm a big fan of Monty Paneer. So if you could just tell Monty to say hi to me.
Yeah, hello everyone tuning in. Thank you so much for tuning in on this show. Thank you guys.
You know, people follow you so much. You are like a global icon, I would say. That's why people are actually watching this show, Monty. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful that you are with us in this show. Thank you once again. Okay, so let's get back to the matches. Like today's a double header. We actually spoke about Sunrisers Hyderabad versus Delhi Capitals. Now it's time that we talk about CSK, Chennai Super Kings versus Royal Challenges Bangalore. So it's like the Kings versus royalty this afternoon. Okay, so first let's talk about Ashwin. So Ashwin had a good record against Warner. And so will Delhi open their bowling with Ashwin, because they will be having Mishra to bowl later on, and Hyderabad have plenty of right-handers in their middle order. What do you think about this, Monty?
Yeah, look, I think that's a great option. You know what Delhi Capitals have at the moment, that they actually can use the spinners as a way. You know, have certain spinners who just bowl in the power plays, while the others can, you know, be a bit more attacking in the middle overs. And I think that's how Delhi Capital, you know, works really well. So, you know, Ashwin in the power play, bowling as a specialist power play spinning option, and that should be more of his role, really. You know, try and get a couple of overs in that, and then obviously assist maybe Amit Mishra when he let him bowl sort of the attacking loopy stuff. So, you know, get the wickets, and then Ashwin can obviously, you know, with his presence can restrict them. So that works really well. And I think, you know, with Sunriser Hyderabad, there's a huge onus on you know, David Warner performing well, and on the overseas batters. So this is, you know, very much, I think Sunrisers have built their team on the overseas players, and you know, good coaches, good captains, they can work out, you know, how teams are built upon. And this is where effectively to beat, like, you know, Sunriser Hyderabad, they'll probably look to get, you know, David Warner as early as possible, because they know that it puts huge pressure on the team.
Also, one thing that RCB might look to is replacing Daniel Sams with Kane or Richardson. Your views on that, Monty?
Yeah, I think that's a great option. It's probably, you know, the perfect time to replace, because you know, you need to, like, you know, teams have to change and adapt, and if they feel that, you know, in these conditions we need to make the changes, then you should do, you know. And I think that's where, you know, someone like, let's say, Kumar Sangakkara, he's just got this win against Rajasthan Royals. It gives him time to reflect now, and don't be, you know, scared of change. You know, chop and change the team according to the pitches and the conditions, as long as you're winning. You know, if you keep winning with the changes, then it just enhances your reputation as a team and as a coach.
Yeah. So now that you're talking about pitch, this will be the first day game here at Wankhede, which is in Mumbai. So how will the pitch play, and team batting second, chasing a big total with no dew around it, might get difficult?
Yeah, look, obviously, Dew has played a huge factor, and obviously, the first game is going to be without the Dew being played. So we expect it to be slightly a high-scoring match and more of a much of an even contest. And the difference has always been the spinners in the IPL. You look at teams when they go after the fast bowlers, it's the spinners that pull it back. So for me, again, this game is going to be it's a big game. And the difference, I think, is going to be how the spinners bowl on this pitch.
Yeah. Also coming in at number 3 and playing a small cameo in those middle overs, how good Moeen Ali has been to CSK side.
Yeah, he's been absolutely brilliant, and I think him sort of giving that role, giving that assurity that you are number 3, and the pressure isn't a lot on him. He knows I only need to get 20 or 30, and then if I get out, that's fine. And that's probably the role suits him the best. Doesn't put too much pressure on his batting. And bowling wise, he can effectively, come in the power play, bowl a couple of overs, or if the team, sort of needs him to, bowl where just to control a little bit or change, he's there as an option. And if he has a great day, then fine, he'll bowl his full 4 overs. So he's such a versatile cricketer that I think it's a great, number 3 is a great position for him.
Also,
guys, can you hear me, guys? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. The SCG was a mess. I must apologise. You guys have done a great job in my absence, so I appreciate that. But I must say that I'm very excited about the match. The CSK versus RCB. I'm sure you've talked about that a lot. I've tried talking to people. If only their team didn't win today, they might be in a slightly less inebriated mood. A rugby league match, unfortunately, is a little bit different to a cricket match. I think they drink a little bit too much at a rugby league match, I'm afraid. And they're a bit hard to talk to, but that's another thing. So look, Anisha and Monty, I want to thank you for your efforts. Please continue and I'll try and chime in when appropriate.
Yeah. Okay, so when he's actually talking about CSK and RCB, if you see the head-to-head record suggests that CSK are very ahead of Royal Challenges Bangalore, but given the recent form and success of RCB, previous records doesn't matter, it seems. What do you think, Monty?
Yeah, look, I think because of the change of venues, if this game was in Chepauk, then I would definitely, that's the fortress for MSD. He's brilliant at knowing how to win games there. But here, because we've seen a change in the team with Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli going top of the order. They bring in Glenn Maxwell, which I think Glenn Maxwell is a type of cricketer where, he's not the guy you want him to lead the team. He's again one of them sort of players. He gets inspiration from other cricketers. So like watching AB de Villiers and Virat Kohli is a better position for him. And that's something when the Australian team do select him, don't make him the main man. Always put him the follower. He's always a follower. He's not a leader of men. And in Punjab Kings, they tried to make him the leader of men, and it didn't work for him. He doesn't like that tag. He gets inspiration by maybe watching the likes of David Warner, Steve Smith, some Aaron Finch. And that's something I think Justin Langer probably has to see how RCB have got the best out of Glenn Maxwell by giving him the secondary role. He's not a guy like David Warner, Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, even the likes of Steve Smith, to be, lead at the front. That's not him. He needs to be the guy who's, gets inspiration from other members in the team.
Definitely. Also, Norman, if you can place those fan questions on the screen so that we can take them.
Sure. Let's go. I'll do them for you.
But it's costly.
That's relevant.
Okay. Thank you, Arun. Pitches in Chennai are very slow except for AB de Villiers. Let's ask this. Let's just talk about it with Monty. What do you think?
Yeah, look, the pitches are obviously slow, low. They start turning a lot, in the second half of the match. And that's why I said, MSD is brilliant, a brilliant captain on spinning slow, low services. But he wasn't so great in the UAE because the pitches were slightly faster and quicker. So that's not his style. He's brilliant in India. MSD in India is probably the best T20 captain in the world. And AB de Villiers, it doesn't matter what the conditions are. This is a 360 player. This is the tag, isn't it? That's why we know he's a once in a generation cricketer, and he's able to perform and produce, match winning performances that other players probably just sit there and applaud.
Definitely. CSK means business. They got experience. RCB is a bit and pieces team.
Well,
Looking at this year's momentum, the winning momentum RCB is going through, I really don't think so. What do you think, Monty?
look, I think RCB are in a new phase, and every game they're going to be learning more about their team. By different players got roles. I think the key factor for RCB to do really well this year is the Glenn Maxwell bit. He's always going to be in a position where either the team will lose a few wickets and he's got to build consolidate, or at the back end, where he has to just go gun blazing and he gets the team over the line. So I think that position, if Glenn Maxwell can really understand that that's his role in the team, and not feel phased by it. It's like, this is what you do, Glenn Maxwell. You're a freak of nature talent. You can become the next Abe de Villiers. Embrace the role. Don't shy away from it. Because sometimes I think he performs at his best when there's no pressure on him. It's when, right, this is Glenn Maxwell time, like he calls it it's the big show, or that's how he calls himself when it's his time. He needs to just embrace that and think, yeah, that's my role, and I'm the guy who gets the team over the line.
Yeah. Also, you know what, Monty? This year, Virat's daughter got some real luck for him.
Absolutely, and I think Virat Kohli, doesn't matter, if he has children, or if he wasn't married, didn't have children, if he's a single guy, his luck is always strong because how much he dedicates, the hard work he does, on his fitness, on his diet regime, on how to become, such a great cricketer, the motivation he possesses, which is unbelievable. And I'm sure, his wife is obviously a great sounding board, and children are brilliant. They kind of like relax you, they take the stress away, take the importance away. If they've had a rubbish day, he always knows he's got his daughter to go to and play with and have fun. So it's a nice stress reliever.
Definitely. Okay, so Keshav has another question. So he wants to know, can CSK follow the England white ball? Oh, he just removed it. Yeah, follow the England white ball template as they bat till 11 rather than a conservative approach in power play.
Yeah, look, I think the thing with CSK, because it's full of all-rounders, they've got the potential to do that. But some of the aging players, it's going to be difficult. They may not perform at their best. But great addition of Sam Curran. I think he's really, is growing even further in his role. And with CSK, Moeen Ali, again, huge pluses for CSK. And I think the one guy who's averaging 11 at the moment with a strike rate of 130 is MS Dhoni. Once he can start firing, then I think they've got the potential to actually, a lot of people here, broadcasters, are comparing some of the teams to international teams. Everyone's thinking Mumbai Indians is a stronger team than actually India, T20 international side. So yeah, CSK can do that, and I think we all desperately want to see MSD back at its best.
You know what? To this, I would like to add one thing. The other day, also, somebody was asking me that when can we get to see the vintage Dhoni? You actually got to see him in the last match as a captain. If you see the kind of decisions he took in the last match as a captain, he's doing great. And you can't just expect a man who is of this age right now is getting runs for you. But as a captain, he's doing the job he's been given to. Don't you think that way? Also, he was playing under such a pressure. The other day I mentioned that his parents were hospitalized, though they are quite stable right now. So you have to understand this point. If you want to see the vintage Dhoni, then you have to see him as a captain.
So do you think MSD's role has changed as a cricketer? He's more of a great captain, and any runs he scores is just a bonus now.
No, see, I won't comment on that because, see, I'm not an expert. But then also, I would like to say that his role can never change. But then he actually did what he was given to. Like, he actually did wonders when he was given the captaincy. So I think that way you are still observing what MSD actually is.
Yeah, look MSD, Owen Morgan, they're both great captains. You look at Owen Morgan, he's doing extremely well. Nearly got, the team over the line yesterday. MSD does it time and time again. And that's a great side we see. But the brand MSD, what in the UK, we don't get to see Dhoni, we only see him in the IPL. That's the only reason everyone tunes in. And we want him to hit sixes and fours, the Indian diaspora is desperate to see MS Dhoni back at it best. Doesn't matter if it's an aging MSD, we still want to see him when he was hitting,
The helicopter shots.
everything like that. We don't want to see the captain. We want to see the batting of MSD.
That's the love for MSD people still have. I mean, it should be like that only. We want to see MSD with those helicopter shots, but even if we are not getting it from him, we can't forget the things which he has done for our country, that is India. And also, we can't forget those helicopter shots. And now he's doing as a captain. So MSD remains that MSD. So we can't just judge him by saying that we want to see that vintage MSD back. I'm sure with these we can get to see that as well.
Well, I disagree with you because we've got Cristiano Ronaldo scores unbelievable goals at Juventus, 30-yarders, brilliant strikes. MSD can do the same, hit 100-meter sixes, and that's it. That's what gets us watching the IPL.
No, see, I can't compare him with any other player. Every player has their own genre, has their own way of playing. So, no comparison. But MSD is still that MSD for me. I won't say that I'm very emotionally attached to him, but yeah, I'm still. I don't want people to say that. Please get that vintage MSD back. He's still the same person. Maybe we are not being able to watch those helicopter shots, but yes, I'm sure we'll get those back again once things gets normal. It's a very difficult situation right now. People are going through a very difficult phase, this COVID phase. I'm sure. See, it's all again very difficult for all the players. They are into a bio bubble where they just can't go to the stadium and to the hotel back. So there is a lot of mental stress as well. I feel that all the players are doing very good and they are giving their best. So let's not judge them because they are actually trying to give their best. Anyway, let's go to the next question, which Keshav wants to know. Should Dhoni be again Dhoni? Okay, should Dhoni be batting up at 4 or do a Darren Sammy, Mike Brolly, Imran Khan kind of a role in this team and inspire them with his leadership, captaincy, and let other informed batsmen bat above him? Monty.
Well, I think Dhoni's great at that position, 5 or 6, get him higher up the order. Only if he's batting well, then it's great. And I think he quite kind of likes, knowing that he only has to face, let's say, 10 to 20 balls, try and hit a few boundaries. And if he gets him, all he needs, one boundary, couple of boundaries, get his old, vintage Dhoni, as we call it now, get it back. And then that's where then he can obviously he'll get a lot of confidence. I think, right, I can start hitting it out the ground.
Now I'm praying to God that he hits those 4s and 6s so that the next time I come to the show, I'll say, Monty, now what do you want to say?
Now, you guys have got some fighting going on, some banter going on. This is impressive.
What I want, Norman, in your show is I want Monty to be people's voice. That's why I'm taking these fans' questions because there are a lot of people who has a lot of questions and they really want an expert to talk about this. So that gives them a clarity. So can we have few more questions? Will Dwayne Bravo play instead of Ngiri today, or will MSD continue with the same team? That's a good question.
Yeah, look, I can't see Dwayne Bravo playing again. Maybe the slightly when the wickets, are probably more spinner friendly or the slow nature. But I think Ndingi is a great addition. 6'4", high arm bowler. It kind of, I think MSD kind of knows that actually I need a fast bowler in the team. The attack is very same with Tucker, Sam Curran, and Dwayne Bravo, all similar heights, similar position where they release the ball. Batsmen, once they set, they will go after all three, and that's where then he knows that I can break it up with Ndingi coming in, high arm action bowling, and they always are an asset in the IPL.
All right, Norman, before we take the next question, let's have a quick prediction from Monty about both the matches, because in the next 5 minutes, you can continue with the show, the rest 15 minutes, because I have to go live with another channel.
And that's
So
okay.
quickly,
Let's finish now with the questions about who's going to win
Yeah.
today.
Can we have a prediction from Monty? The first game of the day is CSK versus Royal Challenges Bangalore. So a lot of royalty against the Kings.
Yes.
Which team do you go for?
Look, I think RCB will win that, but I think MSD will bat well. So my ideal prediction is MSD hits a few sixes and fours, and RCB win.
Okay. And about the second game, which is Sunrisers Hyderabad versus Delhi Capitals, which team do you think has an upper hand tonight?
Yeah, look, I think Delhi Capitals, they just look like a much better outfit. Hyderabad, they still heavily rely on the overseas players. So I think as a team, Delhi Capitals is a stronger side. They will win tonight.
All right, Norman?
Look, there's no doubt, in my opinion, that RCB will win and win well, no matter whether they win or lose the toss. CSK will put up a very good fight, but this is the day of reckoning. RCB will show their force today, in particular with Maxwell. And I think Monty said it very clearly. The mindset of Maxwell is enormous, and Justin Langer needs to take notice. So RCB is a definite victor. The second match, well, again, for very similar reasons, Delhi Capitals, with the great coaching of Ponting and the leadership qualities of Punts, will see them win and win well. SRH is still not quite there. Williamson's in the team, that's encouraging, but Punt, for me, will make sure that Delhi Capitals comes home with a wet sail.
Yeah, definitely. So I think the prediction from both of them are quite same. Let's just hope that the best team wins. So fingers crossed for both the teams, and let's have a good game. So I'm gonna come.
What about you? What about you?
See, I would like to go. I would be a little underdog today, and I think that for the second game, I'll go with Sunrisers Hyderabad, and the first game, I think I will go with CSK, Chennai Super Kings.
Oh, you're being very, very, very challenging for us, Mont. Okay, and if you get very smug, Nation, next time, I'm gonna watch out for your smugness when you're actually successful. You put a knocker on us both now with your opposite approach. Anyway, guys, you have been wonderful despite all the difficulties, despite 35,000 people screaming in my ear. We've survived well. Thanks to you guys. God, you're a beautiful pair. Almost. I might put you on my neck. In fact, you've both been on my poll, but unfortunately, my viewers think I'm the most adorable. I don't know why. Maybe it's the angle. I don't know. All right, guys.
More than the prediction, I believe that we should enjoy a good game. So at the end of the day, all the players are playing, and they are playing for us. They are entertaining us. That's what matters in this difficult phase. All right. So, Norman, I want to ask you this. Do you want to continue the show, or I quickly wrap it up?
You're going to say goodbye eloquently, as always, to Monty and I.
Okay. So thank you so very much for having me once again, Norman. It's a goodbye for me for maybe half an hour, because I'm going to come back and I'm going to give you the toss details, the pitch details, and also the playing 11 for the first game of this day of the double header. Thank you so much for having me once again. This is Anisha Thakkar signing off. Thank you.
I'll send you a link. Thank you.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Ciao, ciao. Thanks, Monty.